Jim Stroud here, your SourceCon editor. Hello, hi, how are you, SourceCon community? I am starting a new series called Sourcing Around the World. And our first stop is South Africa. And I'm here with a very lovely lady, as you can see. Lovely lady, tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Yay! Loving the new series, and thanks for stopping in South Africa first, Jim. I love it. My name is Vanessa Raath. I am a proud supporter of SourceCon. I am a two-time keynote speaker at SourceCon, and several online during COVID, too many to count, to be honest. I'm a global talent sourcing trainer, and I love all things sourcing.
Nice, nice. I'm really curious. Sourcing has its own flavor no matter where you go. How would you say sourcing in South Africa is different from sourcing in the US?
Wow, that's a good question. So, first of all, how I discovered sourcing was actually following SourceCon channels, following SourceCon
Ah,
conferences from South Africa, because sourcing was a thing in the US way before it was a thing in South Africa. So, I like to think that I've done a little bit of work in the South African community, educating people about what talent sourcing is, having run my business for the last 5.5 years. So, I think it's different where, a lot of the US, you see massive teams or armies of talent sources for the big companies. South African companies are getting there. We do have a few specialized talent sources now appearing on the recruiting team. So there's not just your 360 recruiters, but we're definitely not as advanced as our cousins in the US and Europe. But we will get there because I find South Africans to be amazing sources.
no doubt, under your tutelage, of course.
Well, not always. I'll actually tell you why. Let me expand
Hmm.
on that. A
Okay.
lot of sources in the US get massive budgets, okay? So
Okay.
they're buying loads of really funky tools. So they've got the LinkedIn recruiter licenses, they've got great tools like High Easy and Seekout and whatever the company can afford. Where South Africans, when you spending, the mighty South African rand, the budget doesn't stretch that far.
Hmm.
So, South African sources are actually doing everything without a budget. So, they are x raying into platforms, they're using loads of Chrome extensions to find contact details because spending a lot of money on these tools is not always an option. So, that's why a lot of third world countries like ourselves are fantastic sources.
Interesting. Interesting. You sort
Oh,
of have to be resourceful. When you don't have this.
exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, okay. Let me ask you this. Now, this is a controversy that's sort of floating around the sourcing community here in the States. You have artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. It's everywhere. That's all people are talking about. AI, 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 right? And there is a real let's call it a concern that AI will uh, take over the sourcing community, and sourcers and recruiters will be no more, and the machines will be doing everything. What's the feeling in South Africa about that? Do you have that
Well,
concern?
again, yeah, to be honest with you, South Africa, we're not as advanced as things in the US from a technological perspective. So I don't think it's keeping people awake at night just yet, as it might be doing in the US, maybe
Hmm.
for good reason. Again, being able to afford these AI tools. But I think that what we've got to do as a global sourcing community is we've got to up the personalization and up the human element. Sure, I mean, I'm a big fan of AI. I run training on AI and ChatGPT. I'm a big fan of 4.0. Really been playing with it heaps and really enjoy it. But where the human comes in now is maybe the reach out. It's
Hmm.
about having a network, it's about having a brand, it's about standing out. So it might do the sourcing for us, and I completely get that. There's a lot of tools out there who will do the sourcing for us if you can afford them. But you're still going to need, the human to, I believe, to write a really good reach out. And then the question always is, Jim, is when the person receives that email from that individual, how do they know it's not a chatbot? What happens when they Google that person? Do they have a brand? Do they have a network? Do they have the online kudos that's needed? Because if you don't expect too many responses. And I think that that's going to stay the same for quite a while.
Yeah. One, as you say that, excuse me, as you say that, I'm reminded of another controversy around AI. There are so many tools here in the States where a candidate can send their resume out to hundreds or thousands
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
job boards at a time, flooding the applicant tracking systems with so many different companies. And I'm wondering, will that mean they'll be developing more tools to sift through all the AI resumes that are coming in, or do you need more
Yeah.
humans to go through those resumes?
So now
What do
you're
you
going to
think?
have AI tools sifting through AI generated resumes. Oh no, it's going to be beautiful. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, can you imagine?
It is wild. It is wild. Um, Time is creeping up on us, but before we go, I want to ask you, what would you say is, say, three tools you can't live without when you're sourcing any kind of
Sure.
project tool?
Okay,
What
so
would
I know that when you ask this question of a general sourcer, they turn around and they give you that really cliched answer of my brain. So I always need my brain because I'm going to be thinking outside of the box. And you know, it's true. It's true. I do need my brain. So that is a good tool. But
yeah,
for me, Jeepers, I tell you what, the ability to write Boolean isn't really a tool in itself, but it's something that is important. Let me think, what do I use on a daily basis? My favorite that I use every day is a tool called Magical.
hmm.
So I used to use Text Expander disappeared, and now I have Magical, and basically very quick around responses on LinkedIn. It's really good, nice Chrome extension. Let me have a look at my Chrome extensions. Another
Yeah,
one that I really enjoy using is OneTab. I must admit it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. I
yeah.
have about, I don't know, I was training a team in the UK earlier today, and I was just kept on opening up more like loads of websites to show them examples of where I had gone and found people for them. They were like, "What is that? How do you keep doing that?" So that's a goodie. And then another one that I actually really enjoy and does save my butt because I do like to think my English is quite good, even delicious, is Grammarly. I mean, again, it's a very
Okay.
common one, but you know, it's a great tool and they all for free and they really are good. And yes, I've got access to, you know, the lovely paid for tools, fan of Hire Easy and Source Whale and those kind of things, and they're all great. But I don't know, I like to keep it simple.
I like it. I like it. And I can agree with you
Yeah.
on Grammarly and on OneTap. I use OneTap every single day, at least once an
Yeah.
hour, it seems like. They have so many tabs open at any given time. And I'm going to recommend a free
Like my
tool to you.
brain.
I'm going to recommend a free tool to you as well. I'm going to look really quick to see if it's still online because it's been a while since I played where we fit. It's called Digo, and let me see if it's still there. It was, yeah, still there. Still, I used to use it all the time, but I haven't in a while. But I'm glad to see it's still
What
there.
does it
Digo,
do?
Diigo. Digo is a tool that I'm surprised someone has not bought out yet. Just to throw it out there, what
Okay.
it does is a bookmarking tool, right? So I can go to a website, bookmark it. I can highlight different things on the page. I can leave a note on it. But the one thing that I love about it so much, and when I used it so much, was that you can collaborate with other people. So I could create a tool. I mean, create
Oh, yeah.
a bookmark folder. I'll call it software engineers, right? And then I go online and I do my magic and I find people online. And then let's say a day later, you're working on the same rec and you're in my group. You come across the same resume that I found online. You'll see a note that says, I found them first, kind of thing. And so we could
Okay.
collaborate on a sourcing project together. I don't know
That's
why
a
someone
good
has not.
one.
I don't know why someone has not bought that and made that recruiting tool, but it's been around for a
Jeepers,
while.
that
I
sounds
love it.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
on a similar note, I was actually chatting with Ella Pavlova, another great sourcer in Amsterdam, a really great lady.
Mm,
And she was telling me about that. We were discussing this in her community chat, and there's another tool called Page Notes, a Chrome
mm.
extension. So if I think it's a similar kind of thing, but I just think that again, you're right. These things sound like amazing recruiting tools, and why has no one paid a fortune for them yet?
Yeah, someone should buy them. Someone should buy them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but that's cool. You know, free Chrome extensions are great. You know, they're just such time savers, aren't they?
Most definitely, most definitely. If someone watching this video, especially if they're in South Africa and they would like to connect with you for some of your training, how can they find you online?
Well, as I always say, I'm not difficult to find online. So wherever you want to hit me up, my website is vanessaraath.com. I've got free training in my online academy, which is academy.vanessaraath.com. Go and check it out. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, even on TikTok these days. I'm really enjoying that. So yeah, wherever you look, you'll probably find me. So go for it.
Very cool. Vanessa Raath, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being on The Source.
Excellent. Thank you so much. See you soon.